Hello and welcome back to Boozy Cinnamon Roll. My name is Judson and we're doing a little day drinking and crafting. We're doing 25 days of day drinking and crafting for the holiday season, spreading a little Christmas cheer and getting some homemade ornaments done. Today's drink is the standard ginger ale and McGillicuddy's apple pie liqueur. Tastes like apple pie and ginger ale. Kind of a fun holiday treat. It's pretty much my go-to at this point. That and then the spiced rum and Diet Coke. Where are we? We are, I believe, on the downhill slide. We're either approaching 20 or we're at 20 with this video. I know that I'm not playing them back necessarily in the order that they were recorded, but yeah, so we're on the downhill slide for this. Today's craft is a pretty simple one. I learned this when I was a kid. Apparently it goes back to like maybe Edwardian times or Victorian times. It's paper medallions. Let me show you. I've got a couple that I made when I was testing it out to make sure that I knew how to do them. But basically it's like a fan folded ornament circle with glitter and then like a little decoration in the middle there. So I've got this one. I've got this smaller one that has one of the Moravian stars on the side of it. This was a fail. I got one side done and then I couldn't, the other side ripped, and anyway, so I repurposed that there. So I got a couple of these. And there are multiple options, and I thought that I'd show you how I did those and kind of play around with it a little and see what we can come up with today. I have just a bunch of strips of paper. This is paper I pulled out of my recycling bin, and I just cut it into 1-inch strips. Some of it, most of this pile, it's got like pictures on one side and print on the other, and it's kind of colored paper, lots of greens. And then I had some, I've got some over here with music notes on them, and I kind of like the music notes. And then I have some 2-inch paper as well, similar there. And then you can also use fancy craft paper. I've got some of this fancy craft paper that I did, some 1-inch strips, some 2-inch strips. And basically what you do, you take the paper, well, I used a paper cutter because I had one, a big paper cutter, and I just did them in a bunch of 1-inch strips, and the last one I can't push the, like, it's the 1-inch plus the barrier for the cutter, so then the last one is a 2-inch strip. And that's kind of how I got what I have. And then what you do with it, or what I do with it, is usually it takes two to 3 to 4 of these to make a full medallion. I want to say that this one, and this one both are 2 strips. But some of them, like certainly this one, where it's the wider and it's the craft paper, it's going to be hard pressed to get it just 2 strips. So this one I'm thinking probably will be 3, but we can play with it and kind of see what works. And basically what you do, you take your strip, and then I take a tongue depressor to just kind of give me an idea of how wide to fold it. That way I'm consistent. And I just kind of line the paper up to the tongue depressor like so. Well, you can see, like line it up like so, and then fold it down in the back. And then move the tongue depressor here and fold it up in the back. And then pull the tongue depressor out, place it on the back, fold it down over the top like that, and just kind of repeat. Now, with the thinner paper like this, once I've done it 3 or 4 times, I can kind of just follow the same pattern and just keep folding accordion style or fan style. When I was a kid, I think we called it fan style, but I hear accordion style a lot, which is interesting because I don't think a lot of people know what an accordion is. It's not a super popular instrument like back in the day. Although if you're a fan of polka music or mariachi music, you might be familiar. My youngest son, God bless him, he loves polka music, or he loves accordion music. Anytime, if it's got an accordion in it, he's down. So mariachi music and polka music, like he's interested in that. Other genres of music too, but I just find that particular, unusual for a kid his age. All right, so got one here. And then basically what you do is you match up the one, you match up more than one of these. So you take it and you're going to just attach. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna attach them in such a way that the pattern continues. So like on these, if you attach these two like this, then what you have is all of these folds and then all of these folds, and you're gonna have just like an odd one out. So what I usually do is I will sandwich them together like this, so that the fold continues without like a single one kind of standing in the way and breaking the pattern. And I'm just using a little glue stick. It's paper, so glue stick works pretty well and dries pretty fast. With the thicker paper, like the craft paper, not the craft paper, the fancy cardstock, I probably am going to have to go with the hot glue because it's thicker and it takes a little bit longer to dry. Or it's a little harder to stick together. Okay. And then, because nothing in the world is perfect, you may end up with one edge that is a little bit longer, and I just trim that off. So this is 2. Whoops. Yeah, I think 2 will work. So then, trim a little bit more. What you want to do is connect the other 2 ends in the same way or similar way, kind of sandwiching them together. Sometimes when I'm doing it, I just kind of flip it like this, kind of not really inside out, but flip it sideways, so that I can see what I'm doing and get a good seal on the paper. Sideways. And then, here we go. So you have it sort of up and down in the circle. Then you kind of carefully flip it back. Uh-oh. Make sure that when you're attaching it, that you're keeping the same accordion pattern all the way through. There we go. Well, you didn't really see it, but you just flip it back so that that you've got the paper medallion, like so. Can you see that? This part is a little tricky, and it takes a few attempts. And then also, I have yet to discover the secret to having the center of it be pretty, which is why I always put something in the middle. But basically, when I get to this point, get the other glue gun, I'm just going to hit the center with some hot glue. And then kind of smash everything in gently, but like push everything into the center so that it kind of sticks together. You can kind of see, whoops. See, it's not ever pretty. It's not ever pretty in the center. But that's why then I'm going to go in and put a circle or something to kind of cover that up. And then also by putting something over that, you're giving, you've got the opportunity to put more hot glue and kind of, hold everything together. Basically, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm looking for my circle round container. I've got doodads. Oh, here we go. So I may have mentioned this before. Anytime I've got leftover scrap or leftover craft paper or wrapping paper or whatever, I just use my circle hole punches and punch holes in it, or use the hole puncher and then save the little circles. And so I've also got some of these former holiday ornaments. So I've got this one, which would be a cute option. It's a little big for the size of the medallion. On the 1 inch, they do tend to be a little smaller. So that's a bigger one. I've got this one, which is a little bit smaller, kind of a vintage holiday color. I've also got wrapping paper, which the wrapping paper is a little thinner, but kind of with its Christmas ornament wrapping paper there. And those are certainly smaller holes, and then these bigger ones. So let's go with this vintagey one. It's a little bit simpler. It'll let me put hot glue under it. I feel like if I do the wrapping paper ones, those probably, because they're thinner, they probably do better with the glue stick, which is fine, but I definitely want to use hot glue at this point to kind of get it to hold up a little bit better. So basically what I'm going to do is just add a dollop of hot glue to the back, and then stick that down right in the middle. And then I'm going to look at, I've got this tray here of the little embellishments I did with the silicone molds. So I mentioned I bought some silicone molds off of Amazon, and then I filled them with hot glue because I couldn't wait. And then I also did go back and do some with plaster of Paris. So I have the combination. Some of them are hot glue, and then some of them are plaster of Paris. And then I just went in and painted them. Like here's a tree branch with a little bit of green. Here's bells with a little bow. I've got holly. I've got snowflakes. I've got broken snowflakes. So some of them were super shallow, like the mold was super shallow, and so like basically you put the plaster of Paris in there and then scrape it off so that you've got a clean edge, but then it is like super thin, so that's it. Those are a little bit more challenging, but maybe okay, maybe one of those little snowflakes. maybe a bigger snowflake, but I feel like you wouldn't necessarily see the bigger snowflake just because it's blue and white on the other. I also have these deer that are way too big, but they are an option. What do we want to do? I'm guessing we're going to go in with one of these tiny little snowflakes. And just attach it to the middle there. And I'm going to use hot glue for this. I'm going to use the precision tip because it is pretty tiny. Okay, there we go. Just center it in the middle. Like so. Can you see that? And then I will attach some twine in between some of these folds here at the top so that you can hang it. But before we do that, I'm going to hit the sides with some glitter. And I've got silver. So these that I already did, that I showed you, have a chunky silver glitter on the side, which gives it kind of a vintagey look. I do like that. But also, I have a more fine gold glitter. And I think that these, this one anyway, I'm going to try with the gold glitter and see. Basically, for this, what I do is I pop the lid off carefully so that it doesn't shower glitter everywhere. All right, well, that's not working. Let's see if I can pour out a decent amount. Yeah, so we're just gonna pour, this where you can see it, pour some glitter into this bowl here. It's Polyflake polyester glitter, non-toxic. That's good. All right, and then I've got this bowl of glue, my little glue bowl, and then I'm going to just take this and gently roll it in the glue on the edges. Making sure that I've gone all the way around. And I'm not dipping it all the way in because I just want the glitter on the edges of the paper. I don't want it going like halfway down the accordion folds. And then I'm just dipping it in the glitter in this bowl, rolling it through that, making sure that I'm picking up the glitter on the edges of the paper there. This is the fun part. I mean, the whole thing is kind of fun, but this part is particularly enjoying because it is not hard, and then kind of shaking off any excess. You get this, the fancy effect with the glitter. I like it. I like it with the gold. All right, so then I'm just gonna set that aside to dry, and then, like I said, once it's dry, then I will glue some twine in between the folds, so you've got a loop to hang it from. So that's one, and then the next one I wanted to do is with the wider ones, with the music notes. And 1, 2. Let me trim this one. And you just basically follow the same procedure. Like I said before, I think this one I may need more than 2, but we'll see. All right, that will work like that. Just hit it with the glue stick. So that's, whoops, that's 2. And as I said, it doesn't, I mean, you could force it, but it doesn't easily go. So let's add a 3rd one. Just putting the glue stick on there, and then there we go. Attaching it to the other so that it stays in the same folded pattern. Yeah, I think 3 is going to work. So what I'm going to do on this one is put some more glue in my glue stick. Is prior to flipping it or folding it, let's try the other one while that one. I'm just going to do a line of hot glue in the middle, like so, just on the folded part, and then quickly, before it has a chance to cool, I'm going to fan it out. Like this, and then I'll just do it with the hot glue. Nope, maybe not. Use the glue stick quickly, and then affix it like that. And then you've got a bigger one, kind of the same effect. And we flip it over, and you can see the music notes on that one. And then with this one, we've got the opportunity to put a bigger centerpiece. We could go with something like this, the snowflake with the pink, or the bigger one with the pink flower. We can do this one, which is a little bit smaller, as an option. The other thing that we can look at is I've got a couple of these wooden snowflakes from the Dollar Tree that have been painted. You could put that on the front. That's kind of an option. Or also, I was thinking on the smaller ones, you could put it, let me show you, like in front of a smaller one. I'm trying to be careful because that one isn't dry yet. So that's an option too. And then I've also got, what else? I've got these glitter snowflakes, but I feel like they don't really pop as much on the white background, so maybe not that. I've got a couple of these off of ribbon spools, pulled off once I was done with it, pulled off the front or the back, and I've used those for some ornament crafting already, but you could use one of those. I think for this one, I am going to go with this one, because you've got a little bit of the pink, not a lot of the pink, but a little bit of the pink, to kind of stand out, different from the medallion. And then I'm just going to hit it with some hot glue on the back. And again, I'm going to be generous with the hot glue because I want it to kind of help hold the center of the medallion. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and work through on these, and I'll be back in a minute and show you what I've come up with on the other ones, all right? This is the aftermath. We have an assortment of paper medallions. That one is on one of the wooden snowflakes I painted red. We've got the pink one down here with the glitter. That's one of the original ones with the Moravian star. There we go as well. This one here has the snowflake on it. I did this one here. It has the darker paper, not the darker paper, but the paper that had the pictures on it. So it looks darker with a little bit of glitter, and then I punched out a green poinsettia for that one. And then the big one, the masterpiece, is over here. To stand up to get all of this and thing. It's huge. Like, this is my hand. It's plate sized. Well, dessert plate sized. And in the middle of it, it's got that cotton spun baby that we did with a little bit of tinsel. And then it's got a tinsel and pipe cleaner little snowflake there. This is the craft paper, the 3 of them, and 3 was a tight fit. And it's on one of the ribbon spools, the cardboard ribbon spool, and I had used all the ribbon. So I just used hot glue to glue this around the edge inside of the spool. You know, it's a narrow spool. And then I decoupaged some of the snowflake napkin on top, and it's the same red, white, and green as the outer paper. And then on the back, I don't want to pick it up because it's still wet with the glitter, but on the back it is got a piece of the Christmas plaid, this Christmas plaid, which has the same well, not the same green, but a dark green, black and red. So this is me. This is the unholy mess that we're left with. Obviously, it's a YouTube channel. So if you liked this video, do all the things. Give me a follow, give me a like, hype me up. If you didn't like it, give me a dislike and tell me why. Give a comment. Share this with your friends or family. I appreciate you. Again, my name is Judson. We're doing day drinking and crafting for 25 days of Christmas, and we are on the downhill slide, and I will see you next time.